chances are, if you've heard those words, you're attending a really great world-class sporting event right here in the city of Middletown. For those of you who don't know, my name is Scott Massey, and I am honored to be the voice and public address announcer for so many of these great Middletown sporting events. But today is all about celebrating the lives and accomplishments of our 11 individual and 2 team Hall of Fame inductees. At this point, I'd like to ask you to all rise and join me as we welcome from the Cross Street Zion Church right here in Middletown, the Reverend William Wilson, who will lead us in today's invocation. Reverend Wilson.
We thank you for this day, such a beautiful and wonderful, gracious day that the Lord has laid upon us as we have gathered here today. Let each of us, will you join me in prayer, each of us praying in our own various faith traditions as we seek God's blessings and presence upon this occasion. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who by thy might hast led us into the light, keep us forever in thy path, we pray. Amen. Amen. I want to thank you, O Lord, for you are the source of all of our being, the guide of all of our journey and our life's journey. And so today we thank you for this very special occasion. Thank you for all of the inductees and family and friends and the athletes. We thank you especially for the athletes as well because of their sacrifices and their accomplishments and their personal dedication to their various sports. We thank you for the spirit of competition and sportsmanship that helps to shape our lives and helps to shape our character and enriches all of us. Thank you for the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame and all of the board of directors, the donors, the volunteers, the sponsors of this annual event. Thank you for the gathering of all of us, friends and families and team supporters and teammates, the fans, the mentors and the teachers, the coaches, and all of those who have influenced the lives of, made an impact on the lives of all of the honorees that are here. And then we ask you to bless the food that has been prepared, that it might nourish and strengthen our bodies, and that we will remain ever more faithful and dedicated in our service unto you. This we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. You may be seated. Oh, I'm sorry. Pledge of allegiance.
We are going to ask that you actually remain standing as we welcome United States Air Force retired veteran Larry Riley, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Where is it?
Mr. Riley,
He's in the back.
all the way in the back.
You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare for the pledge. Stand if you're able, hand over your heart, face the flag, and recite the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. And please, folks, if you can remain standing. I'd like to ask you to join me as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Performing the anthems this afternoon, please welcome Karen Marshall.
You got this.
I got the words this time.
Oh, say, can we see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet waves o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The great Karen Marshall. You may be seated. And friends, please welcome a true and dedicated supporter of sports here in Middletown, the president of the Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Dave Galito.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 30th Annual Middletown Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. As Scott mentioned, my name is David Galito, and I'm the current president of the Hall. As we celebrate 30 years, I must remark that it is quite an accomplishment and a true testament to the long-standing tradition of athletics in the city of Middletown. The Board of Directors understand that today is all about family, friends, and memories. So we will endeavor to move the program along so you could share and spend time with one another. But before we begin the introduction of our teams and inductees, allow me to recognize a very special guest with us this afternoon, here to honor her brother and all assembled, our Lieutenant Governor, Susan Beisowitz. Thank you, Susan. It's quite an honor to have you with us. And now, I'd like to introduce the teams going into the hall. Each year, we induct a host of individuals, but we also induct two teams as well. And this year is no different. We are honoring teams for their outstanding accomplishments, one on the baseball diamond and another for their achievements on the football field. Each member of the team being honored today will be receiving a certificate of recognition from the Hall to memorialize their team's inductions. So let's start off the program by welcoming and honoring representatives of the 1942 through 47 Middletown Baseball Giants team. If the members could come up here and stand in front of the dais, that would be great. Oh, yeah? It's just Mark? Where's everyone else? Follow Mark all the way up. There we go. Thanks, Mark. Please join us right up here in front, and please remain here as we're going to read a bio about the team, and I'll call on Deb Petrozello for that.
The 1942 through 47 Middletown Giants baseball team. Across a 6-year period beginning in 1942, the Middletown Giants won the Middlesex County League Championship every year. The league recognized the team with the best regular season record over 21 games as its champions. The Giants won a total of 4 outright championships and shared 2 more, although that's not true. They had playoffs, so they actually won all 6. Members from a traveling barnstorming baseball team from Florida, the Florida Hobos, decided to stay up north after their bus broke down. These black players were drafted and integrated the team, including Curly Reddy, Fletcher Henry, Earl Baker, and Matthews. The 1947 team, managed by Joe Tripp, won its first 9 games. In a key mid-season doubleheader that catapulted them to a 17-3 season, the Giants swept Higginham by scores 4-2 and 3-1. The Giants won the championship by 4 games over Old Saybrook. Members of the final championship club of 1947 included Jimmy Wallet, John Satterjay, Leo Bravakis, Earl Baker, Paul Frosty Francis, John Nolan, John Kelly Carter, Joe Witkowski, Ray Flynn, Joe Piney Lassick, Bobby Rand, and Ted Lefty Mrazowski. The 8-team Middlesex County League played on Sunday afternoons between May and September during and through the years of World War II, with special emphasis on Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and Labor Day. All members of the community, black and white, watched the team play with great pride. Teams representing Deep River, Higginham, Portland, Essex, Moodist, East Hampton, and Old Saybrook made up the league. The Giants played their home games at Pat Kidney Field, then known as Municipal Field. These people in front of you are representing their parents, their fathers, who were members of that team. Please give them a round of applause. And you may be seated. You may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. The second team we're honoring today is the 2005 Xavier High School State Double L Championship football team. Would they please come in? Gentlemen, welcome to the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. You're here representing your team in 2005, 2006 for Xavier High School football. That went undefeated, won the Class Double L championship, and beating Southington in the final game. So you went undefeated 12-0. So you could start with either one of you. Let us know a little bit more about that year and what was special for you.
I got to say it was very special because the way that we started our high school career, we went 12-0 as freshmen, and we definitely had that in sight in terms of a goal. But for us to go out our senior year undefeated 12-0, it was kind of like a dream come true and something that you put a lot of work in. But once it materializes and realizes in sort of the 3D, it becomes real, and it was surreal. And then one thing I'd also add is that year there was never a dull moment. We were just going over some of those stories that we have from day one, injuries, just different things at practice. Every week there was always something else that we could, to this day, laugh about.
And your name for the record is Corey
Moses.
And were you one of the captains?
Yes.
Okay, and now?
Justin Bozzano.
Justin, were you a captain as well?
I was.
Okay. Can you share anything, Justin?
Yeah, I think just to kind of piggyback on Corey, we started freshman year all together, and we got really close as a team really quick. We just really molded together really easily, and it showed on the field, and we carried that all the way through till senior year, and it paid off.
That's great. And Mike Campbell,
Yep.
correct? What can you share with us?
I would say it was the great thing about Xavier is you don't know anyone going into the situation, and how fast we became brothers was kind of amazing, and we carried that through all the way through high school, through college, and I'm probably closer to these guys than I am even college friends and high school friends.
There are
from town.
relationships that do stand the time forever. In fact, I was just mentioning to Mrs. Marshall, I played with his son, Kerry, and against, actually, Lorenzo. So it was interesting, but it's all in the family when you play athletics. Tell us a little bit about Coach Meriden and what kind of impact he had on the team.
I'll say he was, definitely a hard-nosed coach that in the moment you don't always appreciate, but in the end, as you grow up to be men, and Xavier's motto being be a man, or at least at the time, it's something that you do look back on and appreciate relationships like that, and those tough times, tough practices, tough conversations, whatever it is. You respect men like that as you grow and develop.
That's great. So, Justin and Mike, over the course of that undefeated year, I'm going to ask you individually, was there one special moment that stood out for you over the course of that year that is far and above anything else that may have occurred during the season?
Let me see.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to say one quick thing about Sean too.
Yeah,
I think Sean did a fantastic job because we knew how good we were, and everyone knew that. And to be able to handle that and guide us to a championship was pretty amazing. Just because I think everyone knew how good we were,
Yeah.
and to be able to contain that and let us know you're not as good as you think you are, and still be able to produce it was a good,
just
great
a
job by him.
little touch of reality occasionally. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what a good coach does.
And then
right?
the thing that stood out the most to me probably was the game against Han, which was our first game of the year. It was like a highly sought after game to watch. We were number 4 or 5 going to the season. They were 2 or 3, and Amari was hurt
Sure.
the week before, and no one knew on the other team that he wasn't going to play. So when we walked out on the field and they saw that he wasn't in his pads, it was his jersey, they were all saying, "Oh, he's not playing. We're going to kill him. We're going to kill him." And we all knew. We said, "You haven't seen anything yet."
Yeah.
And we went out and did the same thing to
That's a
them.
great story. Of
Yeah.
course, Amari's in the Hall of Fame
Yep.
here as well.
And the thing is, after that game, that gave us the confidence of like, no matter what happens, because I mean, that's probably it was the first game of the season, but going into the first game without your best player, and it's clear, we can even say that comfortably. You never know, but coming out of that, we knew we were en route to doing something
And that
special.
team wasn't just a fly-by-night team. They won their
Oh,
championship
yeah.
that year too.
Yeah, they were a
you know.
perennial
Yeah.
good team.
Yep.
Justin, one final thought.
Yeah, Coach Marin, he was a lead by example type of guy. I mean, we practiced in 10-degree weather, snowstorms, pouring rain, Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. Like anything you could imagine, we were there, and he was there with us. I mean, he never sat in a car, he never sat in a booth, he never was in his office. He was there every minute of every day that we were. And I think for a lot of people, like, we looked up to that. So we didn't really want to let him down.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just him; it was the whole entire staff. And it's funny; it's kind of a storybook ending in terms of how this is coming about. But the entire staff, every from freshman, sophomore, junior, everyone who not only was on the field but even the sidelines. I just remember it was a cohesive unit, and even some of the coaching staff ended up becoming head coaches of their own. And we can look back and see how they were developing throughout every week that year. Is really special to look back on. And even the younger underclassmen, now that we have different relationships as they've developed and grown, we can look and see how they were just there through practice, running full speed, and even though they never played in a game, it was just that was cool to see.
Well, he molded you into men, right? And this is a culmination of all of that hard work and the recognition that you're getting. So congratulations once again on being inducted into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame, and we look forward to seeing you in April.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're quite welcome.
Yep.
Justin Mazzano,
Michael Campbell.
Shavar Raymond, Xavier High School, Sonnenberg University. Steve Ogilvie. Alex Perry.
Shea Dwyer. Mark Cherry. Devin Dwyer.
Right to the end. Go right to the end. Yeah.
Patrick Redding.
I don't think we have enough to.
That's all right.
Alondre Rush.
Alondre Rush.
Matt Flynn. Louis Howard.
Dick Noville. Dave Sterling.
Greg Jaska. Sean Marion.
Coach Sean Marion.
I'd like to call on Scott Massey to share some highlights about this team.
The 2005 Falcons, coached by Hall of Fame inductee himself, Sean Marinan, won the school's first state football championship in the CIAC playoff era, which started in 1976. Prior, state champions were decided on the field. The 1974 Falcons were considered state champs after being voted #1 in state sports writers' poll following their perfect season. The 05 team had 6 all-state players in running back Amari Spivey, linebackers Michael Campbell, Shavar Rankins, defensive back Alondre Rush, defensive lineman Lewis Bauer, and kicker Stephen Faulkner. Xavier also had tremendous depth on its roster. As key players got hurt and missed time during the course of the season, Coach Marinan filled the holes and the Falcons kept on cruising. Captained by Justin Bazzano and Corey Moses, Xavier opened its schedule with a road win over third-ranked Hand. Victories followed against Hamden, Amity, and Guilford. Xavier shut out Fairfield Prep and Jonathan Law in back-to-back weeks, and then held Notre Dame of West Haven to just a touchdown in a 41-7 win that catapulted the Falcons to the #1 spot in the state poll. After beating Shelton for its 8th victory of the season, Xavier shut out 4th-ranked West Haven in front of 4,000 screaming fans at Palmer Field. The 4th shutout of the season for the team's vaulted defense. A 44-19 Thanksgiving win over Middletown, its 6th straight versus the Blue Dragons, sent Xavier into the Class Double-L playoffs at 10-0 and still #1 in the state polls. Against Trumbull in the semifinals, the defense waged its collected finger and allowed a first drive touchdown and shut out the Eagles the rest of the way. 4 days later, Xavier dismantled the top-seeded and unbeaten Southington with 3 touchdowns in the game's first 5 minutes. A 39-14 lead at halftime became a 45-30 victory for Xavier. Spivey rushed for 166 yards and 3 touchdowns. Shea Dwyer rushed for 130 yards and 1 score, and Campbell rushed for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. The captains of the team, Corey and Justin, and player Mike, recalled how tight this group was at the time. They praised their tough coach and understood what Coach Marinan did to help their team grow, both skill-wise and as people. Join me now in welcoming the 2005 Xavier football team into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Gentlemen, thank you. You can be seated. Thank you.
Okay. And now I'll introduce the individual inductees. And as I mention your name, please come forward behind the head table and take your spot behind your chair. First, Mr. John Beisowitz. Michael Cunningham. Shea Dwyer. John Gesowitz. Cullen Gilmartin. John Kostakopoulos, representing his father, Peter. And his brother, Paul Kostakopoulos. Audrey Longo Carbone. Mary Marshall, representing her son, Carrie. Holly Modeleski Bame. And our last inductee today, Lenny Orlaccio. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. The inductees can now be seated. Okay, looks like we're all set here. At this time, I would ask for a moment of silence for members of our Hall of Fame family who have passed since last year's ceremony. In particular, Cliff DeRosiers and Frank Marino. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. In addition to Deb Petrozello, our Executive Secretary and Treasurer, I would like to introduce the other members of the head table who will be taking part in today's ceremony. Mayor of the City of Middletown, the Honorable Benjamin Florsheim. The Reverend William D. Wilson. And our Master of Ceremonies, Scott Massey, who will be assisting in the presentation of the inductees. Thank you, Scott. Along with their individual recognition, each inductee will receive a Hall of Fame plaque, a citation from the state of Connecticut, and a proclamation from the City of Middletown. I'd like to thank Lieutenant Governor Susan Bisewitz, Mayor Ben, and Mark Levine from Mallow's Jewelers for their assistance to make this ceremony that much more special. Each inductee, yeah, please. Each inductee and both teams will be memorialized on a larger plaque that will sit in the Hall of Fame at 58 Bernie O'Rourke Drive. Each individual inductee will receive a Hall of Fame mug and a Hall of Fame pin for your lapel. The pins are in the mugs, guys. Finally, to remember this day, each inductee will receive a video of today's ceremony produced by Tom Hickman of Hickman Video Production. And Tom does a great job every year. Thank you very much, Tom. And lastly, but certainly, and I mean certainly not least, Mr. Larry Riley, who was gracious enough to become an event sponsor for this afternoon's ceremony. On behalf of the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame and all attending, we thank you, Larry, for your generous donation and continued support. A round of applause for Larry and all of our sponsors. I'd like to introduce and acknowledge members of the Board of Directors, for without their time and effort, this ceremony would not be possible. As I mention your name, please stand and remain standing until the entire board is introduced. Mr. Paul O'Jerry. John Biddiscombe. Philip Cacciola. David Darling, one of our past presidents. Tony Jascott. The one and only Lorenzo Marshall. Larry McHugh. Teresa Opalats, our vice president. Jeff Otterbein. Jason Serra. Peter Sipples, but I don't believe he was able to attend today. And last, Mr. Ed Wilcox. Thank you. In addition to our Board of Directors, I would like to acknowledge and thank the following individuals for helping to make this ceremony run smoothly. Marie Cachola, Deb Vinalik, Johanna Bond, the president of the Middlesex Chamber, and Mary Ann Sarah. Mary Ann, you should know, not only helps us during today's ceremony and throughout the year, but is also in charge of coordinating the selection of student athletes from all of our Middletown schools who receive the Thomas J. Sarah Student Athlete Award in memory of her husband. Each student is recognized at their respective school's award ceremony and is given a plaque from the hall along with a monetary grant in the amount of $300. And lastly, a huge, and I mean huge, thank you to Danielle Aletta from the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce for organizing all the reservations and the seating for this event. Thank you very much, Danielle, and we really couldn't do it without you. And I mean that. We really couldn't. In addition, I'd like to thank board member Paul Jerry for his help and expertise in developing the Hall of Fame biographies you will hear this afternoon, as well as the promotion of this event through local media outlets. When you have a moment, please check Paul's website at middlesexcountysports.com. There you will find daily updates on all things sports in Middlesex County. Thanks again, Paul. I know you're out there for a job well done. And a big thank you goes out to my friend and Middlesex Chamber employee, Joseph Santinello, for redesigning our website in his spare time and donating that work to the hall. Thank you, Joe. It is greatly appreciated. Each year, this event is successful not only by the work of all the volunteers, but also by the yearly support of our past inductees. And at this time, I would kindly ask all past inductees that are in attendance today to please stand and be recognized. Come on, you know who you are. Please stand up. There, right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a big part of it. You can see past inductees come back and they continue to support the hall, and it's really appreciated. As president of the hall, I would like to personally congratulate today's individuals and teams. With your induction, you will join other athletes and teams that have distinguished themselves on the fields of athletic competition. An honor well-deserved by all of you. Your achievements are the reason you are here today. So this is your day. Enjoy it and take it all in. For those of you who are attending this event for the first time, and for those of you returning, it is important to note that the mission of the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame is to continue to honor the rich tradition of Middletown sports by acknowledging the athletic accomplishments of individuals and teams alike. Preserving the legacy of our local athletes through the ongoing maintenance of our Hall of Fame building and the memorabilia housed within is no small task. We are a nonprofit, volunteer organization, and we invite you, if you haven't already, to participate by becoming a life member. If you are so inclined to join with us, you can do so by the forms that you see on your tables today. Another way to support the hall is through the advertising in our annual induction ceremony booklet. As a patron, a benefactor, a gold or platinum sponsor, or in the case of Mr. Larry Riley this year, an event sponsor. Without the support of the individuals and businesses that are kind enough to take out ads in our booklet each year, we would not be able to provide each induction class with a memorable ceremony. Please, when and wherever possible, patronize our wonderful sponsors. Every year, we are often asked how one can be considered for induction into the Hall. I ask you to please visit our website at middletownsportshalloffame.org to obtain the necessary information along with a nomination ballot to submit a name for consideration. Each year, the individuals considered for induction come from nominations by the public at large and are not directly selected by the directors of the Hall of Fame. Lastly, I'd like to thank each and every one of you here in attendance this afternoon. Without your presence, none of this would be remotely possible. It means an awful lot to the Hall of Fame and all the individuals and teams being honored today. As a reminder, following the ceremony, a buffet lunch and refreshments will be available for those of you who would like to stick around, catch up with family, friends, and former teammates alike. And with that, I say to all of you, enjoy the ceremony, and thank you so very much. Scott?
Thank you, Dave. Friends, we are blessed to welcome the #1 fan of sports here in the city of Middletown, the mayor of the city of Middletown, the Honorable Ben Florsheim. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Scott. Dave said all of the thank yous, I think, so that I can be mercifully brief here this afternoon. But let me invite and join you all in thanking Dave Galito for his leadership of this amazing organization. It's an honor to be here, and let me say welcome on behalf of the city of Middletown. Thank you all for being here. I look forward to this event every year. I look forward to Scott's introduction every year. I look forward every year to being humbled by sitting up at this head table with these extraordinarily accomplished folks, and congratulations as well to the teams who are represented here. And that's the reason I really look forward to it, is that it is an opportunity every year to see the power of teamwork and of individual commitment and accomplishment, and to see Middletown in miniature in a way that rarely happens. This is an amazing room of a diverse group that represents an amazing and diverse community, and thank you to the Sports Hall of Fame, to the teachers and coaches who made these teams and made these accomplishments possible, because by making them possible, you're making this gathering, this community, this afternoon that we get to be able to spend together possible. And let me just join everyone again in honoring and congratulating these extraordinary inductees. It's a pleasure to be with you, and it is my pleasure as mayor of the city of Middletown to proclaim today, as every year, as Middletown Sports Hall of Fame Day here in the city of Middletown, and let us all celebrate that well together. Thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now it's time to present to you the 2024 Middletown Sports Hall of Fame inductees. Joining me in welcoming the inductees, one of the greatest in women's sports here in Middletown, the amazing Deb Pietrzello.
Thank you. I don't know about that, but that's okay. I'll take it. Our first person that we are going to induct is John Gesowitz. Please stand.
John Gesowitz, congratulations on your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Give us your initial thought and feeling when you received word.
Well, I was very, very excited, but I have to say something that is probably some people know. Tom Serra, my mentor, rest in peace, Tom, 25 years ago, he asked me to be a part of this. For whatever reason, I was traveling, and anyway, I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to it this year.
It's well-deserved. I know that you've always been on the list. It was just a matter of time as to when you were ready to do this, but you certainly excelled enough in athletics to warrant being an inductee into the Hall of Fame. Tell me how athletics has impacted your career later in life.
Well, it taught me about teamwork. Taught me about being aggressive in something you love. Taught me to be a good father. Yeah.
Yeah. People don't realize that what you experience on the athletic field or on a basketball court or what have you has a positive impact on you. And you remember that and you take that with you no matter where you go in life. And I could see that it means an awful lot to you as well. You had a stellar career, and it might be hard, but is there one specific moment in your athletic career that stands out far and above anything else that you could share with us?
I get emotional.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think about Tom Serra.
Did you play
He was
for
important.
Tom? You played for Tom at all?
Tom was my coach.
Okay.
He was my English teacher, but he
Yeah.
was a tremendous mentor. And I think one of the most important times in my career was receiving the 1,000 point award with him and my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, that's what all of this is about. It not only are you taken with the honor of all of this, but it brings back a lot of memories, and they're all good memories.
Yeah.
And there certainly is nothing wrong that you feel emotional about it all.
Yeah.
You know, many people do,
Yeah.
and you're no different. So, but on behalf of the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame, I want to congratulate you once again.
Thank
and
you.
we look forward to your induction in April.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to bringing my 10-year-old twins. And once again, big family, 8 brothers and sisters. So it should be a special day. Thank you,
Certainly
David.
will.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
The youngest of nine siblings. John Gesowitz grew up playing sports and cultivating his love of basketball with his 2 older brothers, Stan and Ron, and the Jascott boys. Sister Donna recalls there was always a game being played somewhere, anytime, any season. While at Vinyl Tech, he played basketball and baseball, both successfully. A standout athlete in baseball where he played 3 positions, pitcher, shortstop, and catcher. He was even better at basketball, amassing 1,000 points over his career with an average of 20 points a game his senior year. His honors for his basketball play were many, leading him to San Diego Mesa College. Tom Serra, John's teacher, mentor, and coach, whom he admired, taught him more than sports skills, such as how to aggressively go for what you want, how to be a good person and father, and the importance of teamwork. Now coaching his highly athletic twins, and I heard that the Gesowitz sports line is off the chart, but these young people, his children are going to be one of the best of the Gesowitz family, so look out for them. And now coaching his highly athletic twins, I'm sure John is teaching those same values. When told of his nomination into the Hall of Fame years ago by Coach Serra, John was unable to attend at that time. His family took precedence, as it should. But now is the time. So join me in welcoming John Gesowitz into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Coach Serra will be present. They gotta take a picture. Get me? No, don't get me in. Right there, Johnny. Our next inductee is Lenny Orlaccio. Please stand.
Lenny Orlaccio, congratulations on your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Give us your first impressions when you received word you were being inducted.
Oh, elated, excited, yeah. Yeah, it was humbling because I know I've seen the names in the past that have gotten in, some teammates and just people you know, so yeah, it's a great honor.
So talk to us a little bit about the sports you played.
Well, I played baseball my freshman year and football my freshman year. And I lettered in football 4 years. And then my sophomore year, decided to try track. I thought I'd be pretty good at it. I thought I'd be a good runner. And it turned out I was a good javelin thrower as well. And that turned out to be something I really loved. And 3 years, we won 2 state Class M championships in the two of the 3 years I was there. And got to compete with some really good athletes, got to compete with against some really good athletes too. So.
And this was for Middletown High School?
This was for Middletown High School,
okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then I went on to college, and I was on the University of New Haven track team for 2 years, throwing the javelin, and I enjoyed that as well. Unfortunately, my arm kind of went out on me and ended my career. And then I did some coaching at Woodrow Wilson Middle School track, and then I was assistant to Rich Rozak at Middletown High as well, which I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, that's great. Quite a career. How has athletics benefited you later in life?
I just think, number one, the team concept, working with people. I think that helps a lot. Leadership-wise, it helps a lot. I think just being good at athletics gave me a little more confidence too in everything that I did. So it definitely was a benefit that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think more times than not we hear a lot of the athletes that go in that talk about teamwork and what they learn from being a part of a team environment as opposed to being an individual. Is there any specific moment in your career that stands out as something special that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I think in track there was a couple of good moments I had in track, and you know, winning the state Class M championship for the first time was really exciting for me. You know, they had won it my freshman year as well. I wasn't on the team then, but then my sophomore year I joined the team, and they repeated. I was part of that team. That was really exciting. You know, I contributed, and that really stands out. As well as breaking the school record in the javelin my senior year. That was a big moment for me to break that record.
Yeah, that's great. Well, another special moment in your life will be this induction into the Hall of Fame. So on behalf of all of us here, congratulations. We look forward to your induction in April.
Thank you very much, David.
When Lenny won the punt, pass, and kick contest as a youngster, his athletic ability was on display. The football skills and the arm needed for baseball, a football quarterback, and finally track and field fared him well for his sports participation at Middletown High and the University of New Haven. Lenny said Middletown High coach Lundell, who's also a member of the Hall of Fame, used Lenny anywhere he needed him on the track team. The javelin throw, in which he excelled and set the school record, and running. He was a member of the school record 4x1 relay team with Al Marshall, Gary Greco, and Steve Winborn. He was a member of the 2-year Class M state champions with these individuals, earning points for these wins, which, Lenny says, is one of his more memorable accomplishments. At the University of New Haven, Lenny continued his javelin success, qualifying for the New England Championships as a freshman. Lenny said he is humbled by this honor and thrilled to join some of his teammates. So let us welcome Lenny Orlaccio into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Congrats.
Our next inductee posthumously is Carrie Marshall. Mother Marshall, will please stand.
Mary, you're here representing your son, Kerry Marshall, on his induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. So on behalf of everyone here, we welcome you and we congratulate you on behalf of your son. And I wanted to just get your thoughts when, I guess you probably heard from your older son, Lorenzo, that Kerry was being inducted. What was your first thoughts when that happened?
Oh, I was elated. I was very happy. And I feel that he was really deserving of it.
Yeah.
I believe he earned it.
He did. And he, as I had mentioned to you, I had the pleasure of being his teammate in high school and enjoyed being around him. He brought a lot of hard work and ethics to his sport, no matter what it was. And it was truly a pleasure being on the same field with him. Why don't you share, if you could, a little background about Kerry? Was he always into athletics? Was he following the footsteps of his older brother, for example? And how did he continue to stay into sports as he grew older?
Well, I believe that Kerry was following the footsteps of his older brother.
Yeah.
He was an achiever. He worked hard to achieve what he wanted to achieve. He had a few bumps in the road, as a lot of us do, but he overcame those bumps and he was on his way. And he just put his heart into what he was doing. I remember he really, really pulled it out and surprised us, the family, coming up to his senior year. I mean, he surprised us. Hey, that young man did things that we didn't even think that he had in him.
Yeah.
Out there on that football field.
Yeah.
He was a winner all the way, and he just made us proud.
And then he went on to play was he at UConn?
UConn, he
Yeah.
got a full scholarship to UConn.
Yeah, well, that's a true testament right then and there.
Yes.
So on behalf of everyone here, we want to congratulate you once again, and you must be extremely happy. Your three sons now have been inducted into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame, and that says a lot about you as their parent.
That's an honor. I don't take it lightly, but it's a great honor. And I'm just so happy, and I'm happy for everyone, all of the inductees. Not only my sons, but everyone, every woman, every man that has been inducted and are upcoming. I applaud them, and I'm just excited about being a part of this.
Yeah, and we're excited to have you a part of it, so congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
With nicknames Special K at Middletown High and Champ in college, one would never know that Kerry Marshall was a sickly child, recalls older brother Lorenzo. The childhood ailment was asthma, but it didn't stop him from being competitive with his successful sports-minded brothers, Lorenzo and Al, who's also both in the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. He followed in their footsteps, and Kerry's mother, Mary, said that her son put his heart and soul into whatever he was doing, overcoming bumps and obstacles along the way. His high school exploits in football and as a member of the state championship teams in basketball and track and field amazed her with his talents that earned him a football scholarship to UConn. Starting as a freshman in a game against Navy, Kerry said scoring a touchdown against that team was one of his most memorable sports moments. Feeling every tackle and hit in what felt like the longest 2-yard run for a touchdown. Join me in welcoming Kerry Marshall posthumously into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame, where he will join his brothers, Lorenzo and Al. His mother, Mary, will accept the award. Our next inductee, boy, I'm up here a lot. Cullen Gilmartin, please stand.
Cullen Gilmartin, congratulations on your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Give us your first impressions and thoughts when you received word you were being inducted individually.
Very honored. Middletown, although I haven't lived here in a while, holds a very special place in my heart. So it's a wonderful honor, and I'm excited to receive the award.
You said you moved on from Middletown, and of course, once you finish with high school or college, you move into a career. And oftentimes, athletics plays a part in the way you conduct yourself in your career and how it impacts your career. Can you share a little bit about that?
That's a pretty good question.
Thank you.
Because I often talk about this, that I'm now in litigation as a lawyer. I think that kind of the foundation in sports and being competitive, now that I'm older and I've kind of lost a lot of the same physical attributes, I now can, use that competitiveness in my job as a litigator. So I think it's really helped when I am looking to hire. I almost always look to hire folks that are athletes, because I think that there's just something ingrained in athletes that make them want to work harder and do good at their job.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Typically, your athletes do achieve well beyond their time on the athletic field. Give us an idea of, over your career, what might have been a special moment that stands out for you?
The one that really stands out is in track. It was at Brown University at New England's. Our 4x4 team won New England's, the New England 4x4, and it was very, very special because the 4x4 team, we were just a very close group. The first leg was Nick Tucci, who's no longer with us. The second leg was Jason Coleman, who's still one of my best friends.
And coaching Middletown football.
And coaching at Middletown football. And then I was the third leg, and the last leg was Greg White, who's just a dear, dear friend. So it was just very wonderful to win something together with your friends, that was the biggest event that we could have gone to. And so that will always have a very, very special place in my heart.
Well, I venture to say that your induction into the Hall of Fame will stand up there with that memory as well. And if I'm not mistaken, your team went in last year, correct?
That's correct. So our track team, outdoor, we won, I think, 2 state championships. Our indoor team, I think we had another additional state championship for indoor. So yeah, those teams were very, very good track teams.
Now your name will appear individually here at the Hall of Fame. So congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
Cullen Gilmartin, a member of the Hall of Fame 98 and 99 Middletown High Track and Field State Championship teams, is now being inducted as an individual. What Cullen learned through his sports participation has fared him well in life. He uses his competitiveness as a litigator. I know he doesn't like to lose. And when hiring, he looks for people with athletic backgrounds. But let's look at Cullen as an athlete. Cullen ran the 4x4 and 4x8 relays with a group of young men he calls close friends. Jack Soares, Nick Tucci, and Dave Osborne were his 4x8 relay teammates that won their event in their 99 Class MM state championships. And the 4x4 relay team won in the state meet, the state open, New England's at Brown University, and he ran with Greg White, who is a Hall of Famer, Nick Tucci, and Jason Coleman. Coach Rich Rozak recalls that New England meet. I was there too. Cullen's new spikes had caused blisters on his feet. Now you should have known you're not supposed to run in new spikes, you gotta break them in. Telling him he didn't have to run, Cullen emphatically said that he could do it. Coach wrapped him up and he ran his fastest time ever. And they won. He said he wanted to be the first across the line. Soccer was a love as well, playing at MHS, Johns Hopkins University, and for the Glastonbury Celtics once he came home. And he also played rugby, which is a sport of my heart, while at Duke. The support from his father was amazing, there at every sporting event. With his dad here today as well, let's welcome Cullen Gilmartin into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Please join me as we induct into the Hall of Fame Shay Dwyer.
Shay Dwyer, congratulations on your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. What were your first thoughts and impressions when you received word that you were being inducted?
Wow, just very honored and incredibly grateful for the recognition. Really just great memories. To get the call from John, who I have a great personal connection with just through Wesleyan. He's been a great supporter through the years for me, and really just blown away and grateful just for that, for the call, and just so many great memories for just great support from teammates and from my family. Just blown away from the whole thing.
That's great. It's well deserved, though, I'm sure. How is athletics and what you did throughout your career impact you now later in life?
Yeah, a lot of just great lessons. Accomplishing through athletics, hard work and just approaching things with just a great attitude. Those are two kind of cornerstones of how I try to approach everything, and those were definitely foundational pillars through athletics, and just day-to-day overcoming challenges, and just lifelong lessons coming out of it with athletics.
Question. There are many people who are involved in athletics understand that and become very successful in their career because they've learned that early on. Over the course of your career, I'm sure you've had a number of special moments, but is there one that sticks out that you could share with us today?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I was reflecting on that, and I had so many great memories, and for me, too, really, be able to cap off my high school career with the state championship, undefeated, and be able to celebrate with my teammates here today for that. And then my college career, to be able to have those accomplishments, and those were really paved the way by great teammates, offensive line, and just an all-star coaching staff. I don't know if I can narrow down to one, but
it's understandable.
Those are two standout
One thing we can narrow down, though, is your induction today into the hall. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Shay Dwyer was a member of the newly inducted 2005 Xavier football team as a running back and a defensive back. With Shay running behind all-star Amari Spivey, the stats Shay amassed were impressive. At Wesleyan, Shay was a 4-year letter winner, set many records, and was all-everything. D3 All-American, All-New England, All-ECAC, All-NESCAC, and an MVP, a record holder for game and season rushing yards, and much more. But the story doesn't end there. Coaching was calling Shay, first at the high school level, then quickly moved up to the collegiate level. Currently, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Colby College. Shay also has coached at Brown, MIT, Muhlenberg College, oh yes, and let's not forget Wesleyan and Xavier. His jobs have included working with quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, recruiting, and the strength coordinator. He has also coached players to D3 All-American honors, All-League and All-Conference recognition, and higher achieving team successes. His love of the game is obvious, along with his ability to elevate his players' game. Recognizing his local football achievements here in Middletown, and his continued coaching success, we are proud and honored to induct Shea Dwyer into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Right.
Audrey Longo Carbone.
Audrey Longo Carbone, congratulations on your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Please tell the viewers your first impressions when you received word you were being inducted.
I think I was just more humbled than anything.
Yeah, and did it give you an opportunity to think back on your career a little bit and what brought you here?
Yes, at first I was like, I'm not sure if I'm deserving of this, and then upon thinking about everything that I've done, I was like, you know what, it's really neat. It's obviously an honor, and I'm just really excited.
Yeah, no question about it. Oftentimes, an athlete, as they move through life and they get into their careers, they look back on their athletic career, and oftentimes they connect the two as to how their experiences in athletics helps them in their career as they move on in life. Can you share a little bit of that with us?
Well, golf has kind of become my life, so I work at a golf course, and I've been in the golf business my whole career. So it's nice I've been able to kind of relate the two things.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to share this, the news you shared with me last week, but if there was one moment in your athletic career that stands out as something special, what would that be?
Probably the two would be becoming an All-American. So I was an All-American twice in college.
And what college was that?
I went to Mount Holyoke.
Mount Holyoke, okay, go ahead.
I qualified for the women's amateur, which was a pretty neat experience. And then just recently, I finally became a Class A PGA professional.
That's a great accomplishment, as is your induction into the Sports Hall of Fame. So congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Audrey Longo Carbone competed on the Mercy High School golf team throughout her high school career. She was a familiar face at the postseason high school championship tournaments, competing all 4 years. She gives kudos to Peter Golansky, her high school coach, and the Mercy Athletic Program for much of her success. Audrey went on to play golf at Mount Holyoke College, where she competed in multiple D3 national championships, where she earned honorable mention and later second-team All-American status, and qualified for the U.S. Women's Amateur Championship her senior year. That is just so good. After her stellar college career, Audrey qualified for the Futures Tour and competed in several LPGA tournaments. She has stayed involved in the sport and is currently on staff at the Preserve at Iron Horse in West Palm Beach. I asked her why didn't she bring up some nice warm weather. She probably wanted to. Congratulations to Audrey on her golf career and for her induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Audrey?
Yeah, I agree with that. Holly Modleski Day.
Holly, congratulations on your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.
Please give us your initial thoughts and feelings when you received word.
I was like, no way, this isn't possible, you know? I played the sports all these years, and you're always told to go out there and give all your hard work, but to get something paid back like this is an honor, and such, letting everybody know is just...
Sure. Share with people the sports you did partake in.
I played boys baseball, I was actually an all-star catcher for Little League. I caught for some of the great guys, Johnny Geswitz, Ricky Romano, Dave Darling, volleyball, basketball for high school, softball. I played all Army softball.
Beautiful.
I was a coach after I got out. I coached in Jersey. I was coaching softball, umpiring. I played all the way up until the day before my first surgery to knock me out of commission.
That was the only way they were keeping you out,
Yeah,
right?
we had a triple header that day. I
Oh,
was like,
boy.
all right, I got surgery tomorrow.
So tell us, oftentimes athletics plays a big part in what you do later in life, and it has an impact on careers and otherwise. Can you share something with regard to that?
Well, the best thing is having all of the support that you get from your family and your friends in the sports. And when you're playing them, having all that support there makes you feel like I can do this. And so as you're going on through the years, it's like, okay, I can do this some more. And you go out and you give everything. Your talent shows when your heart shows through the sports.
And you mentioned a number of different sports you played, and then after playing, you officiated or umpired and that type of thing. But is there one moment in your athletic career that stands out far and above anything else that you'd like to share with us?
It has to be my Little League. I know it goes way back, but being able to play baseball with the guys and then being chosen for an all-star and being first string catcher, it was just, the first girl playing, all-star catcher with the boys. I had somebody come in and while I was catching and tried to knock me out, and I just took him out, but.
Well, you certainly were a trailblazer at that point in time, to be able to play in a men's or a boys' league, and you obviously must have been a superstar and an all-star for that to happen, just like you are today as you're getting inducted into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
When Holly Modleski Boehm heard she was being inducted into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame, she couldn't believe the honor. It seemed like she had been involved in sports forever. Little League baseball was the sport that Holly played growing up. Why couldn't she play baseball? As a catcher, Holly was a Little League All-Star, the first girl to be an All-Star catcher. She recalls, with a smile, a play where, and it probably happened often, a play where a boy tried to take her out at home. No way. She took him out instead. In high school, Holly competed in track and field hockey at Mercy before going to Middletown, where she excelled in volleyball, basketball, and softball. In the Army, Holly continued to play softball, playing against teams from the other branches of the service, later coaching and also officiating in that sport. You was good, girl. You was good. Holly said that one of the values of sports participation is that it gives people a support group. And she always gave her all when playing. Holly said it is embarrassing to talk about herself. Well, today she doesn't need to. We will do the talking as we honor her and welcome her into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Our next inductee is John Beisowitz.
John Beisowitz, congratulations.
Thank you.
for your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. So I had the pleasure of letting you know that you were being inducted, and I'd like you to share your thoughts, what you shared with me over the phone.
Oh, I'm proud to be part of it. I mean, there's plenty of people that I went to high school with who had much more talent than I did. I mean, we had Al Marshall who was state champ at a number of things. He was great running back, great, one of the best track athletes probably ever from our town. Brian Hunter, who had a fantastic curveball. Corny Thompson went to school with me, and a lot of athletes who were very good athletes. I just was a guy who just did the work and gradually got better. So did the work and got to a point where I could be a decent college athlete.
After you were running in high school, college, etc., I know that you've gone on to, and I'd like you to share this with the public, that you've opened your own business, and I believe it's JB Sports, correct? And maybe you could share a little bit about what you do with regard to that.
Sure. I went after college. I was a Big 8 accountant for a little while, and then I went and got an MBA. And even after getting an MBA, I didn't know really what I wanted to do. So I wrote the New Haven Road Race a letter, and in 1989 they hired me to coordinate the New Haven Road Race. And since 1989, we've coordinated nearly 1,000 events with 1 million people, throughout Connecticut, mostly running races. And today we have a company. I've been doing it since 1989. We have a small business. I've got a couple people that work with me, and we put on roughly 25 events with about 25,000 people every year that run or walk at events.
It's safe to say that your name is very much associated with those events across the state. So you've certainly made a name for yourself in that regard. Back to your career just a little bit. Was there one special moment in your career that stands out above all that you could share with us?
There's so many. I mean, just running the state open and track in high school was great. It was good to run at UConn, to run in the Big East when the Big East was a big deal, and to make the all Big East team in cross country, and to make all New England team in cross country also. Those were big moments. And I won all of one race in college. It was difficult when you're Division I and you're running against some of the better athletes. I mean, and I won one race, and that was very good. And it was at the time the fastest college time at UConn's track for 3,000 meters. I ran inside, and that was in the winter of '83, '84. And the guy who I beat actually went on to lead the Olympics in the marathon that coming summer. So that was a big, that was my biggest victory there.
I would say it would be, and that's quite a victory. Well, I'd also venture to say that your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame will be a special moment for you. So congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Dave.
Proud to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, John Beiswitz humbly said that others he played with were much more athletic than him. I don't know about that. But John was a hard worker and became an outstanding distance runner. John says his talent is grinding it out. As a member of the 78 and 79 Middletown High School Class M champions, John was not the top runner until his senior year. And at UConn, making Big East teams and qualifying for other big meets did not come without much hard work. John has won over 100 road races, competed in triathlons and marathons. He now owns JB Sports, a race management company which since 1989 has managed over 800 road races, including the New Haven Road Race, Special Olympics Marathon, and the Liberty Bank Citizens Bank right here in town, Middletown Road Race, among others. How has sports affected John's life? He said the following. In 2022, an impaired driver crashed into me while I was riding my bike. I got hit at an impact of approximately 70 miles per hour, and I'm lucky to be alive today. Part of my left leg was amputated, and I had over a dozen surgeries on my left hip, left fibula, right foot, pelvis, and vertebrae. After the crash, I spent 100 days at Yale, New Haven, and Gaylord hospitals. Through the work ethic I gained through sports, I will repeat that. Through the work ethic I gained through sports, I have worked hard to be able to lead a productive, independent life since that crash. The power and benefit of sports. We are proud and honored to induct John Beisowitz into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
The Middletown Sports Hall of Fame is proud and honored to welcome Michael Cunningham.
Mike Cunningham, congratulations on your induction to the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Give us your first impression when you received word that you were being inducted.
I was very surprised. I mean, Tony Jascott called me, and I was away at a wrestling tournament. He called me and said, you know, got great news for you. And I never expected, you know, it was a complete surprise for me. I mean, I'm completely honored, but I was not even, I'm like blown away that I would be honored here.
Well, the surprise makes it just that much better, doesn't it? How has your athletic career and coaching career impacted you in your life beyond athletics?
I think all in all, after all these years of doing it, the ability to give back, to show kids now, like I've been teaching for 30 plus years and coaching, so to see kids mature and use the values that I could help them, that I learned through being an athlete and coaching, that they can go and be productive, you know, citizens pretty much.
No question about that. As you look back over your career, is there one moment that stands out as something special you'd like to share with us?
As an athlete, I got the opportunity to have my father coach me for 4 years in high school, and as a father and as a coach, I got to coach both of my sons throughout their high school careers at Xavier. But I mean, all the accolades and everything, it doesn't compare to like just seeing kids come back and telling me about their experiences and how it changed them, you know, moving on as a father, as a, you know,
sure.
Whatever profession they're in.
Well, you can add this induction to the list, so congratulations.
Thanks,
once
man.
again.
I truly appreciate it.
30 years of coaching at Xavier have led to many memories for Michael. He successfully coached lacrosse, soccer, and wrestling. His Xavier wrestling teams have won multiple individual and team titles, having been ranked #1 in the state and also ranked nationally over the years. Mike was also inducted into the Connecticut chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. But first, let's get back to some memories. 2002 lacrosse, winning the first D1 game against Han High School.
Oh, boy. There you go.
The first D1 game against Han High School, a strong lacrosse school. 2007 soccer, the state semifinals ending in penalty kicks. And wrestling, coaching his sons Tyler and Colin to state titles, first state double L title in 2011, repeating the state double L title and state open in 2012. In 2006, coaching John Holzinger to the first state open champion, and in 2012, coaching Sean Marion Jr. was the first New England champion. Now let's hope that today will become another memorable moment as we welcome into the Hall of Fame Michael Cunningham. With fond memories and a heavy heart, we welcome into the Middletown Hall of Fame, Peter Kostelopoulos.
John Kostelopoulos, congratulations. You're here representing your father, Peter, and the exploits that he had on the fields of athletic competition. Can you share a little bit about your father and what he meant to you and what he meant to the athletes that he coached?
First of all, for my family, you know, growing up sometimes you don't always get along on a baseball field or talking about a baseball game or being together. We always, it was something you could always talk about, no matter how bad things were going. And what I learned from my father, he used to have a saying that triers try and doers do. So be a doer. And he didn't really care. I was not the athlete in the family of the three of us, and he didn't care. Because if I went out and I did the best I could, I prepared as well as I could, and I didn't do anything stupid, he was happy, because you had to be prepared to play and play your best, and if you went home, you could do that. And that stuck with me for almost everything I ever did for him. Just because when you are sort of the guy in the middle, or the guy that's not the overly successful, you always get that at the back of your head, you know, that you can do this. And in going to Palmer Field is one of the greatest things that he used to sit on the light standard before they redid it in a lawn chair and watch the game. And everyone could come by and say hi to us. It was like you belonged here. And that's what sports did for our family. Because we moved here, we had been at Bowdoin College, and it brought us to this town, and we got to be part of it. Last year I came because I know John Greco, and all of a sudden 7 people I went to high school with are up there, so it was really good.
It really is a community effort. So we are so pleased that you're here today representing your father and the great Kostelopoulos family. So congratulations.
Thank you very much, and thank you.
Peter Kostelopoulos attended college at the University of Maine. Good friend and fraternity brother Jiggs Cicchini, having known him since 1953 when they were on the freshman football team together, fondly remembers Kosti. Jiggs recalls he was an outstanding athlete who was a fierce competitor, a hard worker, a very committed friend and family man. Peter was a 2-sport captain for his college football and baseball teams, lettering in those sports as well as basketball. Pete started coaching in high school and couldn't stop there. Football at Bowdoin College, then at Wesleyan, where he coached squash, football, and baseball. The honors bestowed upon him for his success coaching careers include New England College Baseball Coach of the Year, 11 Baseball Little 3 championships, and finishing second in the NCAA Division III Baseball Tournament of Champions. All these accomplishments earned him the honor of being inducted into the University of Maine's and Wesleyan University's Hall of Fame. Let's add to those honors as we induct Peter posthumously into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. His son John is accepting the award.
One more.
Oh, I thought you were doing that.
Our last inductee is Paul Kostelopoulos.
Paul Kostelopoulos, congratulations on your induction into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. Give us your first impressions when you received word.
You know, obviously tremendously excited, and then the second thought is just how many great memories I had here. You know, people had asked me about, you know, growing up in Middletown over the years, and couldn't think of a better place, to be honest. Like for me, for my brothers, for my family, it was an idyllic place. I mean, Andrews Field, Palmer Field, those are my second homes. You know, having an opportunity to be a part of the sports fabric, if you will. Middletown was unbelievable, and I always remember that the people were just tremendous here. We never worried about things. Your neighbor took you to practice, that was no big deal. Someone's dad took you home if your parents couldn't get you, and it was all built around the synergy of this town. And sports, I think, in Middletown has a significant role. It's really a binder of a community. So it's a tremendous honor.
No question about that. Tell us, you had quite a career yourself, and then you've gone on to coach. But tell us how athletics and coaching has impacted your personal life and business outside of athletics.
Coaching is everything I wanted to do, and being in sport. I saw it first of all from my dad as just a great way to earn a living. Quite frankly, you're involved with people all the time. There's always a next level to coaching. Obviously, you got to win some games at certain levels to be successful. But at the same time, you're always thinking about how to impact that young person in a way that is going to be valuable to them. Maybe 5 years down the road, maybe 10, maybe it's 20. You're never sure. That's true. And that sustains you through all your good times and bad times in coaching, is that you're really in it to develop young people, and you get a chance to be around, in my case, 18 to 22-year-olds your entire life. That's pretty neat.
That's not too bad, is it?
No.
Listen, whether it be on coaching or your personal career, is there one special moment that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, geez, there's so many.
I'm sure.
I think I'm going to harken back a long way, but when we won the state American Legion title, that was huge. They were my best friends. Those people we grew up with, and winning that was special. I never remember another one. It was actually when I was coaching at Providence College. We were at Muzzy Field, and we beat the University of Connecticut for the Big East Finals in a walk-off home run, and it was great. It was Connecticut, it was home, it was Muzzy Field. So even though it's a couple towns over, it was still being here. So those two kind of stick out. But I've been blessed. There's so many experiences that I've had that I would never trade any of them in.
Right. Well, I'm sure you could add today to the list. So congratulations on your induction.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
First of all, I made the mistake was I saw a woman who I know is Costi, and I yelled out, "Costi, hey Costi!" And about 12 people turned around, all from the family. So, that's great. So, 2 heralded coaches in the same family inducted into the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. It is happening today, as Paul Kostakopoulos is being inducted with his father. A graduate of Xavier, Paul played football for Coach McHugh, who described Costi as a player that played fiercely and with heart, and you can't teach that, and usually won the battle. Paul went on to Providence College, where he was an outstanding baseball player. After college, Paul's stellar coaching career included coaching at his college school, but when baseball was dropped, he was hired to coach that same sport at Maine and then on to Navy, where he retired in 2023. Accomplishments and honors were many, including Patriot League regular season and tournament championships, America East regular season and tournament championships, Big East Tourney and Championship, and it goes on. He has been named Patriot Coach of the Year, Patriot League Coach of the Year, America East Coach of the Year, Big East Coach of the Year, and Northeast Region Coach of the Year. It is evident that the younger Costi is a talent that we are proud to recognize and induct into the 30th class of the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to present to you the 2024 class of Middletown Sports Hall of Fame. And friends, I ask that you all please stand as we welcome back the Reverend William Wilson for today's closing benediction.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you once again for this occasion. As each of us have come, we thank you for the fellowship of family and friends, for we realize even now we ask a blessing upon all of the families that are represented here today. We realize that strong families make for a strong community, and strong community makes for a strong neighborhood, and strong neighborhoods make for a strong nation as well. And so we thank you once again for all of the blessings. And even in the midst of that, we thank you for even those whose lives are impacted by difficulty in our world. We pray for our world. We continue to pray for a peaceful world, a just world, and a safe world. Pray for our political leaders and all of those who are in leadership throughout this land, that they might continue to give them the fortitude and the moral consciousness and the moral will to do that which is right. We could ask your continued blessings upon those, the least of these, the least, the lost, the lonely, the less fortunate, the left out, the left behind, and the last. Even now, as we leave this place, allow your Spirit to go with us. In all things we ask through your name, as we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And friends, that concludes our induction ceremony for today. On behalf of the Middletown Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors and all of our honored guests and inductees, we thank you for coming and for your continued support. If you are able to stick around, you are invited to share in some food, some refreshments, some great fellowship. Congratulations again to all of our inductees, and thank you again for attending and your support.